I did a video on Kobe Bryant on his DNA code. You can check that out on my YouTube channel. And I'm sitting here scrolling through the internet and I'm seeing all this stuff about Kobe Bryant because everybody knows he passed away in a helicopter crash, right? So the whole time I'm looking at all this stuff on the internet, and one thing about Kobe Bryant was um, a smart individual. He was very smart. He was a leader. He led on the basketball court, and then he took that leadership. He was trying to take that leadership to off the basketball court. And see, that's where the red flags came. You try to take it off the basketball court. Now, one thing when you dealing with these people in power, and you dealing with their pawns, their rooks, and their bishops, when you're dealing with them, and if they see you a future potential threat, then they will sacrifice you. It sounds fucked up, but that's just the way it is, man, in life. Sacrifices was happening back in the ancient times. Sacrifices are happening at this day and time. But nobody never wants to talk about when in back in Sumeria, Egypt, other civilizations that bronze people have ruled in the past, about the sacrifices that those leaders in power had to make. You know why? The reason why is because when you're dealing with these celebrities, they don't want the mass majority of people thinking like that, where sacrifices have to be made. They don't want you to think it has to be done. It has to be done. Now, when you look at this picture of Kobe Bryant, you see that's not a black mamba, but that is a serpent in the background. You see the serpent in the background, and you see Kobe Bryant. Why did Kobe Bryant pick the black mamba? Some people can say, oh, he picked it because it was part of the reptilian family, where serpents really just moved on. They moved on a seek and destroy when they're hungry, right? They moved on a seek and destroy when they're hungry. When they wasn't hungry, they used to curl up and sit and rest and regenerate. Look at Kobe Bryant. As soon as Kobe Bryant got in the NBA, what was he? He was hungry. He wanted rings. He wanted championships. He wanted to be the best, like Michael Jordan. But now I'm going to get deeper into it now. When you look at the number Kobe chose was 24. And I think in the beginning of his career, it was 8. I'm not sure. But some of the stuff that these celebrities do, once their junk DNA is activated, they do certain stuff and don't know why they do it. They have no, they don't know why they did it. Now, Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba. Now, Kobe Bryant must have, either he knew or he didn't. I don't know, but he must have actually had found out that he had reptilian genetics in him, which all the so-called black race does have reptilian genetics. And then when you look at the Bible, and the Bible talks about the serpent, and the Bible talks about how evil the serpent was, this and that, when actually the serpent was just somebody that was on the planet first. So where did these genetics come from? Because the book of Genesis is basically the book of genetics. That's all that really means. And then the book of Genesis, the book of genetics, then you're dealing with the serpent, and you're dealing with Adam and Eve, right? The serpent's portrayed as an evil creature on the planet because that's the so-called black race. They have the reptilian genetic in them. So when the first beings walked this planet, they had to mix their genetics with stuff that was already on the planet, so they could have uh, so they can have people that can survive within the climate, within the oxygen climate. Just because um, you might be from a different dimension or solar system, don't mean that you breathe this type of gas, which is oxygen. So they had to mix their genetics with the serpent because the serpents were already here, the dinosaurs and whatnot, and they were already on this planet. Now, did Kobe Bryant know that? I don't know. But going back to Kobe Bryant's number, his number was 24. I think he was 8. When 8 actually means looping you back in a circle, I break that down on another video, how the 8 is looping you back in a circle. But the number 6 represents you breaking out of the circle. When you look at the 6, you have a 0, and then you have an extended point coming out the circle. So the extended point is actually you breaking out the circle, right? So when you break out the circle, in order for them to loop you back in was with the number 8. I'm going to give you an example. Niggas today, the trap music, I really don't listen to that music because it's basically, I mean, the beats are nice. They got some nice beats, but what these modern day slaves are rapping about has nothing to do with the children and their minds. So the number 6 is you looping out the circle. The number 6 and the number 9. You're looping out the circle. Now 666 can be considered an evil number because there's 3 sixes. That's the third dimension. That's controlling the loop process through the third dimension. That's what 666 means. But when you're dealing with 16, you're dealing with you breaking out the circle and going into a number 1. Because everything in this universe is ones and zeros. That's what the quantum computer is. 1001, 10001111. They're all codes. Kobe probably picked this number and he didn't really know, but the reason why universally that he picked this number is because in the future he will be breaking out the circle mentally. So when you add 2 and 4, it equals 6. 2 and 4 equals 6. So when you're breaking out the circle, you have to go through a 6 or you have to go through a 9. And in order for them to loop you back in a circle, they have to put you in the 8 to keep you back in a rotation where you're not going. I'm going to give you an example. Now, back to the trap music. Now, these cats nowadays, they're using the 808 kick drum. 808. What is that? Once you start looping out the 6, they have to put you back in the 8 to put you back in the circle. That's why they call that the 808 kick drum. You can't Google this. This came from futuristic intelligence. You cannot Google this. And it makes sense. Anybody that's intelligent would be like, that makes sense. that low submental kick drum. Doom, doom. It's the 808 kick drum for a reason. All this shit is for a reason. It's not random. So once you start looping out the 8, once you start looping out the 6 or the 9, they have to put you back in the 8 so they loop you back in a circle. That's why they call it the 808 kick drum. Because as soon as you start looping back out the circle, they got to put the 8 back, put you in the circle, put the 8 back, put you in the circle, put the 8 back, put you in the circle, and so forth. I'll break that down on another video, another day, more thoroughly, with other numbers that are decoded. But Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, he knew he had the reptilian genetics in him. Kobe Bryant, why would he pick the Black Mamba? Why would he just pick that? Right, he could have picked anything. He could have been the Black Panther or something else. So Kobe Bryant, the black mamba, the reptilian genetic, the most feared genetic on the planet because of the junk DNA that we carry. Majority of our people don't have it activated. But the ones that do, we back on the planet. It's New Brighton. I'm out.